been written that we are ascending, that we're the descendants of the source of all existence. Yeah, it's been written that we are ascending, that we're the descendants of the source of all existence. I have arisen, I'm switching my vision, the spirit is in me, my mission is clear and I started.
Welcome. Welcome all. Welcome all who are awakening, all that have awakened, all that might be, all that is, all that will be. The divine, the creator, no matter what name we the human part of us, choose to call the collective us, is waiting for us to have an experience. It's set out to give us all the tools that it needs to experience through us. It is not holding anything back from itself. It's taking a deep dive into what it can be, what it will be, and what it chooses to be in the now. It's using our consciousness, our body, our mind, our soul, and we're interacting with it. All 9 billion of us. Some of us awake, some of us not. Some of us came in to be awakened, and then some of us just came in to play. Just to be. And here we are right now, settling in for the raw experience. 15,000 years of experience here in the earth density. Not just the outer realms. Raw, they came here to do it in human form when they walked the earth 15,000 years ago. And we human, the human form of us, that human concept, we weren't ready for it. But the raw experience waited for us. And then it said, it's time. Let's go drop some cheat codes for them. Let's go step in to this integral part of this experience. And here we are. Body, mind, soul or spirit or higher being, whatever you choose to name it, it's still it. It still is. It is all that it is and more. So here we are. Are we ready? I was called to pull a Voice of the Soul's Oracle card. So I'm just going to pull one card. We're going to get ready. Whatever Ra wants me to bring into this moment, we're going to do it. And here we are. Karmic relationship. Karmic relationship. Now, karma can mean a lot of different things. It's infinite possibilities of the definition. It's not just one thing, right? So the number is 24. Numerology, if you break it down, that breaks down to 6, right? Go look that up. What does that number mean for you, right? Okay, so let me go look at what we've got. Number 24, we're page 77, double numbers. 7 plus 7 is 14, breaks down to 5. What is Ra trying to tell you with those numbers? Go check that out, okay? So here we go. You need to understand the connection you have with another person, another soul. You need to understand why this relationship can be so complicated, or why those feelings are so strong. You need to categorize the relationship. The relationship is a karmic one, which means your souls have already met in a previous life. But this is no reason for the relationship to become toxic. For you to accept things aren't right for you. Part of you is afraid of cutting off that relationship short or focusing on its karmic death. Sometimes we can get too focused. We're too busy trying to break down everything and figure out how everything works. We're too busy doing the deep dive instead of taking a moment and just going with the flow and listening. Take time to listen to your spirit guides. Take the next couple of days after you listen to this and see where your higher self is going to take you with the information that you take in for your highest and greatest good. Welcome in, Ali Lunar Queen. Welcome in, Olivia. Welcome in. And as we get ready for this session, let me send it over to Marcus so he can welcome you in as well. Or on this side. Here he comes.
Coming in.
Here he comes.
Coming in. The frequencies are getting a little glitchy over here. Uh-oh. Grand day, everyone. Welcome. Thank you, Sandee, for opening this wonderful space. And I would just like to attune myself to the messages of Ra and to surrender any confusion, need to know, or to already know, but should just be and be open to the transmissions that are going to be expressed today in this container and this time space and may it transmit with clarity, with the intention of love and balance. And with that, I just welcome us all to grow through Law of One. Ascending Beyond Limitations, episode 94. We are creeping up on 100 pretty soon. And we are 2 years strong in this series. Thank you to everyone that's supported. Thank you to Ra. Thank you to all of our divine messengers and translator of the multi-dimensional world that we are one and unified in. And I cannot be more grateful to be co-hosting such a beautiful series for 94 episodes now. That being said, everyone, get ready, enjoy, get comfortable as you wish, burn your sage, your Palo Santo, whatever it is that you like to do in your sacred space, and feel free to journal as well. I don't really bring the journal up in these spaces much, but I think I'm going to talk about it more, as I feel like this is a great opportunity to journal, reflect, and also comment and share anything that comes throughout this episode. We are continuing on book 4 of 5, and man, I really look forward to what comes out of Ra today. Over to you, Sandee.
We got six more episodes to go till we get to 100. I'm ready. Are you ready? So let's get going. All right. Here we go. Take my bookmark off. I've been thinking about this since we did the last one last Wednesday. And it's taken me all I could take to not read forward, because the divine said, we're reading this together. So this is the first time I'm reading this book. This book 4 is with you. And I'm open to everything that the divine wants to share with me through Ra, through the writing, through the knowledge given. And we're all going to get these sweet nuggets, and some of them might not be the same. After this reading, when you go to maybe go look it up online or go buy the book yourself, and guys, we're not telling you to go buy the book. This is not, we're not in cahoots with the writers or the publishers or anything. We're reading this, we're discussing it, we're taking in information from the divine, and then we're giving it to you so that you can go and look it up and find out what you need for your highest and greatest good. All right? So let's get ready. The questioner says, the divine wants me to go back to the last paragraph that the questioner had when we stopped last Wednesday. The questioner says, I now understand what you meant in the previous session by saying that to extend free will, the significator must become a complex. It seems that the significator has become the complex that is the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th of the mind, the 10th on of the body, and the 17th on of the spirit. Is this correct? Ra says, I am Ra. This is incorrect. The questioner says, could you please tell me what you mean by the significator must become a complex? I am raw. To be complex is to consist for, or not for, of more than one characteristic, element, or concept. Questioner. I would like to try to understand the archetypes of the mind of this logo prior to the extension of the first distortion. In order to better understand that which we experience now, I believe that this is a logical approach. We have, as you have stated, the matrix, the potentiator, the significator. I understand the matrix as being that which is what we call the conscious mind. But since it is also that from which the mind is made of, I'm at a loss to fully understanding these three terms, especially with respect to the time before there was a division in consciousness. Could you please expand even more upon the matrix of the mind, the potentiator of the mind, and the significator of the mind, how they differ and what their relationships are, please? I am raw. The matrix of the mind is that form which all comes. It is unmoving, yet is the activator and potentiation of all mind activity. The potentiator of the mind is the great resource which may be seen as the sea into which the consciousness dips even deeper and more thoroughly in order to create, ideate, and become more conscious. The significator of each mind, body, and spirit may be simply seen as it says may be seen as a simple and ununified, or not ununified, but unified concept. The matrix of the body may be seen to be reflections of opposites in the mind, that is unrestricted motion. The potentiator of the body then is that which, being informed, regulates the activity. So the mind starts it. The body takes it in and brings action, or actual parts of the body. You have a thought, you're revving with it, and you want to keep it down, so you grab a piece of paper and a pencil, and start writing. Yeah? The significator of each mind, body, and spirit may be seen as a simple and unified concept. Got that? We're doing it, reading it one more time. The matrix of the body may be seen to be a reflection in opposites of the mind, that is unrestricted motion. You can have a negative thought about what you're thinking, and you can have a positive thought that about the same thing that you're thinking. You get to make a decision from it. And sometimes putting each one into action helps you understand which one you want to do for yourself, for your highest and greatest good. Okay? The matrix of the body may be seen to be a reflection in opposites of the mind, that is unrestricted motion. The potentiator of the body then is that which, being informed, regulates activity. The matrix of the spirit is difficult to characterize, since the nature of a spirit is less modal. The energies and movements of the spirit are, by far, the most profound yet, having more close association with time space. They do not have the characteristics of dynamic motion. Thusly, one may see the matrix as the deepest darkness and the potentiator of spirit as the most sudden awakening, illuminating, and generative influence. This is the descriptive of archetypes, or I'm not archetypes, archetypes 1 through 9 before the onset of influence of the co-creator or sub-logos, before they realize free will. So if you want to basically say, and this is just one example, there are infinite possibilities of example. Keep up with your Instagram and your Facebook and your YouTube. There are people giving you infinite possibilities of this information. They're doing deep dives too. You got to decide which one works for you, right? Okay, so basically, your whole body, mind, soul is connected with each other, having a chat, like you have a chat on Facebook, right? And you've got everybody in the chat, and you can see them, and you're bringing up information and sharing information and seeing what works for you. You're taking it in. People are telling you what worked for them and giving you infinite possibilities. You're thinking about it. You might even picture what that might be, what that could do for you, and you have that ability to put it into a visual sense in your consciousness, and have your ego and your higher self breaking it down for you. All the questioner wanted to know was what the titles that were given, what they meant. Over to you, Marcus.
It all circles back to the infamous proverb of Egypt. Dun, dun, dun. Know thyself. Know thyself. Know your DNA. Know your genetics of why you are this being that is consciously aware of itself as this source of light on this planet. That's where learning about so many things. I mean, there's many ways you can come about learning about yourself. You can learn about yourself through astrology. You can learn about yourself through numerology. You can learn about yourself through spirit animals. You can learn about yourself through learning about the different rays of light and which one resonates the deepest with you and the way that you live your life. You can also learn about yourself through practices like Reiki, past life regression, intuitive channeling, and things of that nature. And the reason why I bring this up is because what Ra is talking about, the mind and talking about the body and the emotions and how it's influenced by the mind, and how really like our reality is kind of assimilated through the mind. Well, we all have our own individual mind that we are experiencing through, or our own perception of the mind, so to say. And if we can tune into the spiritual essence or the kind of like coding or genetic coding behind why we are the way that we are as this vessel, then we can kind of get to know why it is that we mentally perceive things the way we do. Or we can get to know why we interact with things in this world the way we interact with it so uniquely and so precisely as Marcus Christolight or as Sandee M. And another thing with, Ra talking about the mind is you go into the Kabbalion talks about the first Hermetic principle, which is the all is mental. And it basically explains that there's different mental planes of existence that are corresponding and simultaneously existing at once. So when we think about the mind is very difficult to really perceive through a physical lens because of the capacity of the mind. And to think that our physical self is actually just a figment within our whole entire mind kind of gives you a little bit of a perception of how expansive the mind truly is. And we typically think, hey, this physical world is huge. This physical world that we observe and we're part of has to be like the most gigantic thing ever. But to think that this physical reality here that we're seeing that is so huge and big is really just, it's a fractal. It's a holographic fractal within infinite possibilities. I mean, wow, really, for me, it kind of allows me to let go a little bit more, to surrender a little bit more as well, to think that that's how much capacity there is to this infinite existence that we're a part of. And to be able to have this imprint, this soul blueprint here as an individual soul on a journey within all of that. That's something I see why they talk about celebrating, celebrating being alive, celebrating being awakened, celebrating just being aware of existing, living, being able to have the breath and be able to make change and have free will and be present. And that's one of my favorite things to focus on lately is just being present. We can always go into hypotheticals about the future of the world. We can go into hypotheticals about technology and nature and the water of the world. We can go into hypotheticals about what's going to happen with the countries and what's going to happen with the militaries and all these different things. But at the same time, we cannot be hypothetical about any of that and choose to do something else, like tune in to Ascending Beyond Limitations and see what those frequencies are all about and party it up with us a little bit and feel the vibes of celebration, inspiration, being a whole being that is here to experience for a temporary time, share, receive, and be present. And just know that at some point on this journey, when it's time for you to go into another incarnation, or it's time for you to go into another plane, that time's going to be precise and it'll be exactly when it's going to be. But in the meantime, it's not the end of the world yet. And it's also not the end of anything. So we can just continue on. Be here, make choices, and know that it's all okay. And we can always continue to be who we want to be, and continue to make the changes to become who we want to be.
That just flowed. That just I was in the river flowing. Those were a river of words, and I was there in it, just being. Our lives, and don't get me wrong, because I've went through it too, where I had so many questions that it took me away from my now moments, trying to figure out, when you first have a recall moment from your higher self, it's an opening to all these questions that you have, and it's a flood of remembrance, and then the remembrance ignites a question, and the question ignites openness to learning. But sometimes, like Ross says, there is the time to learn and the time to teach, and it's equal in that space that's called you. Sometimes for your higher self, you're being a teacher to someone else, which means you're probably giving, and maybe that person that you're giving to is not learning it as quickly, or you feel that you're being drained of your energy because they're not, figuring it out as fast as you think they should. And then all of a sudden, tables are turned, and you're the person that's taking in the information. It's a flip-flop. And you kind of trying to figure out where your place is. Well, I really don't understand my calling. That was my first thing, because I was in a flip-flop of learning and teaching, and not knowing what I was teaching. That's part of your wake. That's part of the process. And yeah, they don't have a group of information when you first wake up that says, okay, number 1, you do this, number 2, you do this, number 3, you do this, number 4, you do this. When you're first waking up, you're just at the will of having an awakening moment and having an embodying question. That's why we're reading Raw, and that's why there's other books that have been channeled and written, and even if the author doesn't know it's been channeled to them, that they say, oh, I woke up to this idea and I just went with it and I wrote it. They don't have to, it doesn't have to be that they say this was my channeling moment and then you listen to it because, oh, it must be real because it's they're channeling the spirit. Sometimes they don't know, but they're giving you the information. And sometimes you're getting information from other places. Doesn't have to be ascending beyond limitations. It doesn't have to be anything with soul awakening with Sandra or Marcus Christolight. It could be something that you heard on the radio, just in a everyday talk show, and they said one line that registered with you, and your higher self said, "Yeah, that's it." Could have been a podcast. It could have been a TV show or a series. The divine doesn't stop trying to keep itself acclimating to growth and evolution. It's always acclimating. The universe, the divine, the creator, almighty God, whatever label you have, is not saying that when it learns something, it has to be good or bad. We are given the privilege to have those labels so that we can figure out what works for us. We get to be the potentiator. We get to be the matrix of the mind. We get to be the significator. That's part of our growth in our evolution experience. There's no right or wrong to it. We see and feel through that veil, that label called right or wrong, so that it makes it easier for our body, mind, and spirit to say, okay, I like this or I don't like this. I want this or I don't want this. This moves me or this doesn't move me. And this is why it doesn't move me. And we use those labels, and we use the language of third density, whether it's English or whether you call it Japanese or Chinese or Spanish. Those are our labels. Those are the creator. Those are Ra having an experience through us. We're all one. Here we go. The law of one. That's the raw material. All back to the one true creator having an experience through us. No matter what you see on TV, no matter what your government says or doesn't say or hasn't said for 150 years, or said that doesn't make any sense, it's all part of the experience. How it feels to you is how it feels to you. I had a gentleman ask me a couple of months ago, what am I going to do now that they're taking away this or they're taking away that? And I just told him, I don't know what your calling is. But I know he was approximately the same age as I was and lived through the experiences of having both a Republican president and a Democratic president at any given time. I've lived 60-something years old. I'm 60-something years old. And I know those moments rise and then they fall. So I just told him, I said, you have to sit down and you have to figure out for yourself what matters to you. Ask yourself some embodying questions about where your focus is. Because I can't answer that for you. And Ra is not answering it for each individual one of you. Ra is saying, you have this information. How are you going to use it? Not that there's something wrong with our systems of everything that we've been creating. There's no right or wrong to it. There just is. And how you identify it and utilize it and create it, that's on us. I know it seems like it's kind of like you're just throwing us out to fend for ourselves, but yeah, that's kind of what it is. Infinite possibilities, baby. When you wake up in the morning, you get to go, well, I went to sleep with the government being the way it was last night, and ooh, I woke up. What you gonna do? What's gonna bring you joy? What's gonna bring you peace? What's gonna bring you harmony? What's gonna make you creative today? That's what Ra is saying. Do you realize that you're the significator? Do you realize that you're the matrix of the mind? Do you realize that you are the matrix of spirit? The questioner says, the first change made then for this extension of free will was to make the communication between matrix or the matrix and the potentiator of the mind relatively unavailable. We're talking about the veil. One to the other during the incarnation. Is this correct? I am raw. We would perhaps rather term the condition as relatively more mystery filled than relatively unavailable. Divine wants me to read that again to you. We would perhaps rather term the condition as relatively more mystery filled than relatively unavailable. Because the divine, the creator, has not made anything that's unavailable to you. Everything is available. You just came into this existence a little veiled from it, so that you can have the best experience possible. Right? Okay. The question. The idea was then to create some type of veil between the matrix and the potentiator of the mind. Is this correct? I am raw. This is correct. Questioner. This veil then occurs between what we now call the unconscious and conscious minds. Is this correct? I am raw. This is correct. Questioner. It was probably the design of the logos to allow the conscious mind greater freedom under the first distortion by partitioning, you might say, this from potentiator or unconsciousness, which had a greater communication with the total mind, therefore allowing for the birth of uneducated, to use a poor term, portions of the consciousness. Is this correct? I am raw. Roughly correct. Questioner. Could you de-roughen it or elucidate a bit more on that? I am raw. There is intervening material before we may do so. Questioner. Okay. Was this simple experiment carried out and the product of this experiment observed before greater complexity was attempted? And if you are hearing a little bit of bumping or whatnot, I have a very loud neighbor upstairs. He or she is moving furniture. Life in an apartment building. Let's send them unconditional love. I am raw. As we have said, there has been a great number of successive experiments. Questioner. I was just wondering, since this seems to be the crux of the experiment, the large breaking point between no extension of the first distortion and the extension of the extension of the first distortion. What the results of this original experiment was with respects to that which was created from it. What was the result of that? I am raw. This is previously covered material. There he goes again, telling the questioner, man, we've already had 3 books. The result of these experiments has been more vivid, varied, and intense experiences of creator by creator. Okay, so he says, we've talked about this before. You're the creator experiencing self. No matter how you say it, no matter how many scrolls you have with different people telling you in a different way about growth and expansion and becoming, it's the creator experiencing itself as you. It never stops. If you're blessed with another morning, you're experiencing you're the creator experiencing itself again. The result of these experiments have been a more vivid, varied, and intense experiences of creator by creator. Questioner: well, I was aware of that. Okay. Pushback, right? I probably didn't state the question correctly. It's a very difficult question to state. I don't know if it's worth attempting to continue with, but what I meant was when this first experiment with the veiling process occurred, did it result in service to self-polarization with the first experiment? I am raw. The early, if we may use that term, logi produced service to self and service to others, body, mind, spirit complexes immediately. The harvestability of these entities was not so immediate, and thus refinement of the archetypes began apace. So the veil created service to self and service to others. And they had to keep doing it because that's called growth and expansion. They learned through what didn't feel good to them. They learned through what did learn to them, that felt good to them. Over to you, Marcus.
Mm-hmm. I want to take us on in to somewhere familiar called the ascensionglossary.com. That is ascensionglossary.com for everyone. And this is where you can find a drawn out definition of what the law of one means and what it looks like to embody and live by the law of one. So I'm going to read this for you guys. It is a single philosophical system of world humanism, which merges cosmology, science, human rights, and spiritualism. The teachings of the Law of One describe the spiritual laws that govern angelic humanity's spiritual evolution for each dimension that exists within the universal time matrix. Simply put, the Law of One is the universal truth that all is one, It is a truth taught by Christ when he proclaimed, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself." We are all direct expressions of the one source, God's source. The law of one is an energetic reality as well as a creational covenant with the guardian host founder races. The Emerald Order, the Amethyst Order, the Gold Order, Cosmic Family, Entity of Ra. I'll go ahead and highlight that for you guys in blue. Cosmic Family Entity of Ra is one of the founder races and guardian host of this universal time matrix that we're in. That is why he is from, or I say he, but that is why that complex is said to be from the sixth density. We have 5 densities inside of our universal time matrix. So therefore, the sixth density is a density that actually exceeds our universal time matrix. So basically, Ra is a source of energy that comes from outside of our universe that helps seed it and helps bring life to this universe that we're in this 12-dimensional matrix. So the Aurora host races from the 7 higher heavens serve the crystal star in order to protect spiritual sovereignty for all races through the reclamation of the Christos mission. The law of one is practiced by the advanced races that promote self-responsibility and accountability in our universal time matrix through the comprehension of the energetic interconnection that exists between all living things. The law of one expresses and acknowledges the interconnection, value, and interdependence of the spirit and consciousness that animates within all things. Living a lifestyle that expresses unconditional love to all creation brings true unity with the Godhead and develops a direct relationship with God or Creator. Thus, this is the promise of the Emerald Covenant gifted to humanity in order to achieve planetary liberation, and is the ascension path of the cosmic founders in order to complete spiritual freedom from reincarnation cycles in the lower worlds during the ascension cycle. Then they have practices of the law of one, and they give you 7 practices that you can use in your daily life to help you align and embody yourself with the frequency and balance of the law of one. And that first one is practice unity consciousness. The second one is practice loving yourself. The third is practice loving others. And this sounds very simple and practical, but when you really think about it in your daily life, and you're going through your triggers, you're going through your wounds, you're going through your healing process, you're living with family members that you're struggling with, how easy is it really to practice all this every single day and really align and embody this? Even when you're triggered by your family member, or even when you feel like you're struggling with an addictive tendency in your life. I mean, it's not that simple all the time. So you have practice loving the earth and nature, practice service to others, practice conscious expansion, practice responsible co-creationship. And these are ways that you can help embody and attune yourself more and more with the attunement of the law of one.
Can you leave that up for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I want to answer, if she's still in the Instagram, I want to answer a 77 Taurus 19. She was asking, is extreme anger part of the whole spiritual spirit thing spiritually? Because she's feeling that she's struggling with that. And yes, anger is a, hold on a second, my phone. Anger is, it's a part. It's a feeling or part of a vibration that we all get to feel at one time or another. Whether humanity or your spiritual, the spiritual person that is moving through the physical being is learning that the lower polarities are not favorable to conducive living, doesn't mean you don't get to experience them. That's the only way that you know that you need to move to do something different, right? That's the only way. If you feel anger at something, you have to dive into it and say, why do I feel you? Why is this so intense? You start to learn that, oh, maybe it's because I have to practice loving myself, or maybe it's because I have to learn how to start practicing loving others. Why are you, you get to dive into you and ask an embodying question. Is it easy? No, I guarantee you it's not easy. I'm still dealing with a woman in my apartment building who is a bully and insists on allowing her little dog to be a bully too. But since I can't change her, I have to go from that internal, kind of self that wants to constantly be mad at her every time I see her. But now I'm learning that through someone else saying, well, just say, I love you to yourself about her. Because that's unconditional love. I can't change her, but I unconditionally love her, that she's part of the consciousness of experience. Maybe she's here to learn something about being a bully, or maybe in another life experience that her soul experienced, she didn't learn enough about not being a bully. Or maybe in her previous experience, she was bullied. It's not for me to know. It's just for me to figure out why I'm angry. Nobody else can figure that out for you, unfortunately. And like Marcus said, if you're living inside households with other people that are triggering you, then you do have to figure out how to move through that. Sometimes it might mean that you need to just keep saving your money and doing what you need to do so that you can move out of that environment. Sometimes you might need to go have a conversation with a therapist for yourself. Why? Because you're the creator experiencing being the creator. You're experiencing that moment of being angry and then going, what next? And I'm going to tell you, sometimes it's just not easy, because my Gemini ego, the ego part of me can just hold on to things and be angry. And also my Gemini me can get quiet and start listening, putting together the information. And I might not release it and sometimes when I do release being angry, it's like a volcano. It's part of living. I'm not saying it's right, but it's part of living, so that you can ask yourself another question. Well, what do I want to do now? Okay, I'm tired of being angry. How do I move from that point to a new point? For me, I found out that I can't change other people. I need to surrender it and let it go. But I can change me and how I interact in moving from being angry with another person or a situation or a circumstance. You can practice unity consciousness, which means all it means is you know that you are consciousness and the person that you're angry with is consciousness as well. Then you get to practice loving yourself. Because no matter how much you love them, they still want to do stuff that makes you angry with them. You can't change them. You can practice loving someone else unconditionally, but you don't got to be in their space to do it. Right? Like Phoenix says, let's have some fun. It's okay to laugh at a moment that really makes. I am more upset with this woman's dog than my dog is, because my dog just shakes it off. You see what I mean? So I have to learn how to surrender like he does. He just shakes it off and he keeps on walking. Even though the dog's trying to move towards him and barking loudly and trying to bite him and nip him, he just keeps on walking. He tells me, come on, mama, let's keep on walking. Law of one is the dog says, I've already moved through it. So I need to let go of it. I can only use that one particular thing because that's one that I'm most focused on. Because I see this woman at least 3 times or 4 times a day, because we all use a community dog, they call it a dog run. Okay? But these are perfect practices. This is all Ra is trying to tell you, is that you are the initiator. Right? Thank you, Marcus, for keeping that up for me. I hope that helps. I don't know if she's still there. Do we have time for one more question?
Law of one. Let's have some fun. Logan says right on time.
Right on time.
Right on time. Floating like a butterfly. Can't even spare a dime.
Yeah. Okay, so we got what time do we have? We have time for one more question.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So the questioner says, now we are getting to what I was trying to determine. Then at this point, where there still only 9 archetypes and the veil had just been drawn between the matrix and the potentiator of the mind. Did that sound like he had a question? Let's read that again. Maybe I left out a word. And leaving out words, the divine said, you need to be precise with the words because somebody is listening to this for purpose. So the questioner said, now we are getting to what I was trying to determine. At this point, and there's a comma there, were there still only 9 archetypes. and the veil had just been drawn between the matrix and the potentiator of the mind. So the question is, were there only 9 archetypes? Okay. I am Ra. There were 9 archetypes and many shadows. There were 9 archetypes, but there were many shadows. The questioner: by shadows, do you mean the what I might refer to as birthing of small archetypal biases? I am Ra. Rather, we would describe these shadows as the incarnate thoughts of helpful structures not yet fully conceived. These are archetypes. Remember, there are many consciousness that come to play with Earth consciousness in this field of play. There are the little archetypes that come to be part of your psyche, but they don't know really what you want or how big you desire it or how big they should be. They're there to grow. There are these shadows of infinite possibility in your mindscape. Archetypal biases. Now remember, Ra, they're experiencing, sharing with us or vibrating with us through our terminology. Okay? So these structures aren't fully conceived because it's part of the growth and process. If they came in fully conceived, what's the sense of doing it if you already know it? It's the creator seeking itself as the creator. Guys, can I say it again? You are the creator. You want to hear it again? You are the creator. If I had a bullhorn, I'd say it through that right now. And get this, it doesn't matter whether you believe it or not, whether it's part of your experience right now, the creator is still being the creator. The creator can be the creator without you knowing you're the creator, and that's okay if you don't want to believe it right now. If you can't understand the concept, that's totally okay. You might say, okay, Sandee, Marcus, I'm going to come back to you on that. It's okay. We'll be here. Hopefully we'll be here next Wednesday. Come on back. Right? Logan says, got it. Right? Okay. So let's keep going. The questioner says, would the choice exist at this point during the creation of the first service to self polarity? I'm Ra. Implicit in the veiling or separation of 2 archetypes is the concept of choice. The refinement to this concept took many experiences. Here we go again. Ra is saying everything didn't happen all at once. It's happening by experiences. Choice, free will is happening by experiences. It was created for the purpose of the creator to experience the creator. The veiling was created so that the creator would be able to have experience and be excited about it. What fun would it be if he already knew, or they already knew what they were going to experience? What fun would it be if they already knew how it was going to turn out? Now, that's not saying that the creator of all doesn't know that everything goes back to one. But it's experiencing itself as individual selves, individual creations, not just human experience, animals and trees and the air and the sun and the moon and the stars, every blade of grass, every ripple of water, every grain of sand. It's experiencing itself. Every stroke of a guitar string, every tap on a drum, every form of music, every written word, it's experiencing itself. From the smallest shadow, from the tiniest logo, or logi in this case, from the tiniest consciousness. This is what Ra is saying. It didn't start all at once with one. It started everything all at once with everything. You can be you and still allow yourself to have mistakes. I love how Michael Beckwith said it when I first learned that word, how he broke that word down. And I was listening. It's not mistakes. Break it down. Hyphenate it. Mistakes. If you want to do it over again, go take it over again. Make a different choice. You have the opportunity. You are the creator, seeking itself as the creator in the experience that you want to be in that moment. If you've come past the veil. And don't get mad at people who haven't exceeded past that veil yet. They may not have came into this living scape to be unveiled. Their souls might have just come to experience. They might not want to wake up. They might not want to see. They might just want to be. So let them be. Don't spend so much time trying to change them or grow them or have them be awakened into an experience that they might not want to be in.
Before you generate some of your own karma from it.
Exactly. Leave them alone. Let them be. Like the Beatles says, let it be. Mother Mary comes to me singing, let it be. Just let it be. Right? Or not right. Take it the way it resonates with you. Growth and expansion is for you. It's for you, the creator, seeking being the creator. Did you hear that? For you, the creator, seeking being the creator. And as I close, I'm closing the Law of One right now, and I'm opening my, rhythm on page one of my 101, which is talking about rhythm. It says, everything flows out an end. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swings, manifest in everything. The measure of the swing is the right. It is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. Rhythm compensates. Rhythm compensates. Right? The pendulum swings all the way forward, and it will swing all the way back. And you know what the pendulum does as it's swinging all the way back? It gives you a moment to stop the pendulum where you want to. You are that powerful a creator seeking the creator. You can say, well, I want to change something. I've seen it swing all the way forward and ooh, I got it. So when it comes back, maybe it comes back to the middle and you stick your finger in there and say, I think what I'm going to do for me is I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. What is the text being? It's called the Kabbalion. It's called the Hermetic Philosophies, 3 Initiates. And remember, guys, we're not telling you to go out and buy books. We don't get any kickback from this. We're just sharing with you what we've learned. Right?
That's right.
And the text that we just finished reading from for today is called The Law of One. It's book 4. It's by Ra. It's channeled by Ra, a humble messenger of the Law of One. All right. There's infinite wisdom and understanding for all of us to know. I haven't even reached a peak. Somebody told me, "Oh, you know so much, and you're so wise, and you're the wise owl of the Okay, no, I'm still growing. I may know more than I knew the day before, but I'm still growing and expanding. And I am not perfect. Somebody looked at me and said, "Oh, you're so no. Don't measure me. Don't measure yourself by me. Don't measure yourself by me. I'm still growing. I'm still expanding. I'm still learning. I'm still dealing with all the emotions. I still wake up every morning feeling good about the day, and then something might kickstart a feeling, and then I have to go sit with it until I figure out how to work or to allow my higher self to show me, or show my ego me, how to work the situation out or circumstance out. I'm not living a perfect life, but I will tell you, once I had my awakening moment, I thought shit was supposed to be perfect. I thought I was never supposed to have another bad moment. I thought money was supposed to rain out the sky and take care of me. Whoa. No. That was just the beginning of remembrance, recalling. right? We're here to grow. We're here to expand. It's like a song. Either people are playing the same tune or they're not, or they're playing the same tune or they're not. Keep creating the music. Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to tell you, the fact that you brought up music right now, when you think about it, on a guitar string, there's only so many chords. Only so many ways that you can mix those chords together, right? But yet there are people making a whole lot of music off of those same few chords, right? And it might sound like somebody else's intro to a song. And then all of a sudden somebody can sue somebody else because, hey, you used my intro, but there's only so many chords. But yet there's this infinite possibility of music and lyrics and emotions that give the music the creative ability to help somebody grow or expand. I hope I said that the right way. Let's see. The sound of a guitar is only a response to the attack of the string. How you call it attack, I call it a beautiful strum. But hey, what works for one person, there's always another infinite possibility of seeing it. For me, I love the guitar, and I love the drums. I don't play guitar very well because, of course, I talked myself into stopping when my guitar instructor moved back to Italy during right before 2 years before COVID happened. He moved back to Italy to take care of his ailing mother and father. And then when he was about to come back, COVID hit. But that's my thing that I talked myself in, not him. See how that story goes? This is my second time here, and I've been blessed by the realness and grace as you share your experiences. Well, I hope our experiences help you to understand, not to make your experiences less than, but to help you know that you can take your experiences and sit with them. So that you can grow. Sometimes sitting, it's really hard, guys, to sit with the stuff that's uncomfortable within you. Because you have to play with your ego, like in volleyball, passing that ball back and forth between you and your ego, and trying to get past anger or sadness or distress or so many other feelings. But if you don't sit with them, who else is going to? That's all Ra is saying. You were, and it's not a big faux pas that you found out, I've come into figuring out that this is a matrix, and I'm figuring out all of this stuff, and so-and-so's known it so long before me, I'm on the late train. You're not on anybody's late train. You arrived perfectly on time. Marcus can't sit with you. He can share his energy and help you sit with yourself. I can't sit with you. I can share my energy and help you sit with yourself. Yahweh didn't heal anybody. Yahweh was sitting with those beings that wanted to receive healing. And because they were actively present in the healing of their selves, they healed themselves. And Jesus said, go tell no one, because they'll try to take that from you. Hold on to it. Keep healing yourself. Keep getting stronger. You have the same energy that I have. You can do the same gifts and miracles. And you'll get to the point where you'll do it even better than I did. Exactly. Grow. Grow. We're being loved, Marcus. So I leave you with what the divine has given you. I hope that you take it and let it grow and expand you. Take what resonates. Maybe all of it doesn't, but it doesn't all have to. You.
Man. I tell you what. You guys enjoy some frequencies as we close out. I'm going to allow you guys just to connect and enjoy some beautiful frequencies, a little bit of hand pan, some other instruments. Vibe out. Enjoy the music. We love you guys. Appreciate you. Take care. I'll be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern for Grand Rising with Christolight. I'll see you guys then. (2023) Mother Gaia, third dimensional planet, ascending. Thank you from the Sacred Light Broadcast Network and Sacred Light Productions for tapping in and tuning in to all live and replay content, holistic, conscious, for your empowerment. Tap in to the Christ light within. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember that you are the one that you have been looking for. Enjoy this content. If you would like to collaborate or receive production through myself, Marcus Christolight, direct message or email me at marcustut23@gmail.com to discuss details. Wholeness and balanced love. Ashe.